On a warm day in late April 2009, as American flags fluttered in the breeze, dozens of loved ones gathered to say farewell to members of the Savannah-based 165th Airlift Wing, part of the Georgia Air National Guard preparing to head into the war zone in Afghanistan.
It's about enjoying our last few minutes with the family until we have to go do our jobs.
It's hard, but I married him knowing that he was in the unit, and I knew that this was going to happen, so we deal with it, we work with it, because they are very good to us, so any rotation that comes along, we accept it.
Then the plane's mighty turboprop engines fired up, signaling the airmen that it was time to stand up and go do their duty.
Well, you practice for this, plan for this, and to actually be going to do it is worthwhile. It's what you get paid to do.
A last embrace, tears wiped away, flags raised high and arms raised in salute. In a moment, they were gone. Out of sight, but definitely not out of mind. Now you're invited to go along with them. On this episode of A Call to Arms, go into the war zone with members of the Georgia Air National Guard's 165th Airlift Wing. See where our airmen live and work, up close and personal. Join them in the cockpit as they fly day and night, and hold on in the cargo bay as they drop supplies to troops at forward operating bases thousands of feet below in the middle of enemy territory. Plus, warm reunions back in Savannah, and a look at how the mission continues even after the deployment ends. This is A Call to Arms. Hello, I'm Michael Jordan. Thanks for joining us for this episode of A Call to Arms, our series featuring Coastal Empire troops serving in Afghanistan. Right now we're at Bagram Airfield, which is the hub of all the U.S. Air Force activity here in Afghanistan. And for about 4 months, it's been home to roughly 100 members of Savannah's 165th Airlift Wing. During that entire time, these C-130s have been flying crucial missions all over the area. To understand why the U.S. military and its allies need the 165th here so desperately, it helps to know a little bit about the planes the Georgia Guard airmen maintain and fly, the C-130 Hercules. They're known as the pickup truck of the Air Force, hauling up to 50,000 pounds at a time of people and vital supplies to places where no other fixed-wing cargo plane can go.
Speaking from the C-130 community, this is, how would you call it, Herc heaven. This is the type of flying the C-130 was made for. It's mountainous terrain, dirt airstrips, you know, doing it ugly, and that's what the C-130 likes to do.
So what makes the C-130 so perfect for the mission here in Afghanistan? Well, the secret starts with each of these 4 20,000 horsepower turboprop engines. They're part of what allows the C-130 to stop so quickly on a short runway. But the real secret of the C-130's stopping power lies behind these big tires. It's a 16-disc braking system that allows it to come to a complete stop in no time.
Well, we got a lot of dirt, short runways that we need to land on to drop cargo and personnel in a quick fashion. So this aircraft's able to come in short fields, make quick landings, and get out.
And the Georgia Air Guard team has put those unique abilities to good use.
Well, we've carried a lot of ammunition, of course, but we also do medevacs, where we pick up the wounded soldiers, coalition, Afghan, and they turn it into a flying hospital almost. We pick up an aeromed team. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. Unfortunately, every now and then we do have to carry our fallen soldiers out of the combat zone.
I'm very proud of our crews. They've hit the ground, and you just look in their eyes and they're ready to go fly. And they're really proud to be here. They want to come, they volunteered to come, they didn't have to come. And to be sit here and watch our crews and our maintenance, the way they handle these airplanes and keep them running and keep going outside the wire to support those young troops that are out. I mean, that's the bottom line, is going out and supporting those young men and women outside the wire, and that's what we're doing.
Sometimes the C-130s resupply American soldiers without landing at all, dropping the supplies from thousands of feet above instead.
Green light. Load clear.
This load is going to land beside a U.S. Marine Corps forward operating base in a spot too dangerous to resupply by vehicle convoys. The deliveries are often more than just bullets and shells.
Right now we're dropping food supplies. We're dropping milk, cereal, Gatorade, Cokes, water. Sometimes frozen foods, we have to get there kind of quick, of course, eggs, chicken, so they're not just eating MREs in the field.
On other flights, the Georgia Guard birds soar to extremely high altitudes and drop boxes of pro-coalition leaflets aimed at winning Afghan minds as well as winning battles. But none of this high-flying work would even be possible without round-the-clock labor by maintainers who look after the aircraft's every need. More than 100 airmen are responsible for multiple C-130s from a variety of active duty and Air Guard units.
Oh goodness, everything from refueling it to changing tires, changing brakes, uploading munitions. We have 10 different specialties here. Well, it's incredibly important. If these guys aren't here to recover the airplane or to launch the airplane, really the mission is not going to happen.
We perform general maintenance on the aircraft from nose to tail. We're the ones who handle the general maintenance on C-130s.
Keeping up with all the spare parts on hand is no easy task either.
These are the readiness spares that we have, just different parts for the aircraft, whatever we might need to keep the aircraft flying and keep the missions going.
Thanks to the hard work of the maintainers, more than 90% of the C-130s at Bagram are ready to fly whenever they're needed. And that includes after sundown, when darkness can be a friend as well as an enemy in the war in Afghanistan.
Where the Army is where the enemy is, and where we're going is resupplying the Army.
When we come back, we'll take you along for a nerve-wracking ride into the combat zone with the Georgia Guard crew. A Call to Arms continues right after this. Welcome back to A Call to Arms. Right now we're standing on the runway here at Bagram Airfield. I'm about to climb aboard this Savannah-based C-130 for a mission in the middle of the night, and we're going to take you along for the ride. As our Hercules climbed quickly into the night sky over the Afghan mountains, we were suddenly enshrouded in a cloak of darkness. But modern technology gives these warriors the ability to hide in the dark and still do their jobs.
You'll notice that all the lights are off in the aircraft. The pilots are using night vision goggles to allow them to see, but the enemy can't see us.
Yeah, you know, this is our best line of defense right now. We got these MVGs that help us see, and hopefully the bad guys don't have them so they can't see us. So most of their stuff they have to hit us is line of sight stuff. So if they can't see us, then that's a good thing.
Day or night, there are plenty of Taliban on the ground ready to take a shot at the lumbering C-130. And in a valley far below, we're treated to a rare spectacle. Bright flashes in the night sky bear silent witness to a massive artillery battle on the ground.
Where the Army is where the enemy is, and where we're going is resupplying the Army.
The pilots and crew members have their hands full.
Everybody's got a certain job, and everybody's chiming in on every little part of the flight, every aspect of it, so we can't do it without the entire crew being involved with everything.
Flight engineer Meaty Still keeps a watch on everything happening in the C-130.
Major portion of my job is to see if when something goes wrong, or if something goes wrong, I have to figure out what it is, what's doing it, and try to fix it if I can.
Behind Tech Sergeant Still, Navigator Captain Brian Bowen has his mind on what's happening outside the plane.
This is as challenging a terrain as there is. We're operating at high altitudes when we're landing and departing these airfields. So we're really relying on our radar and other instruments to stay safe.
land safely, unload our supplies, and pick up some troops and personnel who need to head back to Bagram. This is just the first of several such nighttime flights the Savannah crew will undertake on this moonless night. Then another crew will take over the aircraft in the morning and keep the missions going. Nothing good can happen in Afghanistan if these planes don't fly. When we come back, a visit to the places where our Georgia Guard airmen live and work in Afghanistan, and a look at how the 165th is a family in more ways than one. A Call to Arms continues right after this. Bagram Airfield is a strange place. More than 20,000 American and Allied troops are crammed inside its security perimeter, living side by side with airplanes that constantly take off and land in missions to who knows where.
Well, it's hot, dirty, sandy, and obviously windy.
Well, the sign outside the maintenance hangar says Savannah is just about 7,500 miles away, but the members of the 165th Airlift Wing find a way to make their little slice of Bagram feel like home. The Georgia state flag waves proudly in the breeze over a row of wooden huts near the flight line, marking the temporary home of the 165th Airlift Wing.
Welcome to B Hut number 96. This is our wonderful home away from home here in Bagram. Well, this is our individual hooches here, as you can see. We kind of put our own nice little touches on it to kind of make it feel somewhat like home. The nice of this is we have our own individual areas here where you can kind of come back after a long day of flying or a long day of working, and where it's kind of quiet, sit down here and read a book. We also have internet available here in the hooches, so we can actually email our friends and family back home, which makes the time pass a little bit better.
During their time here, the members of the Air Guard unit can become extremely close.
It's meaningful, like it's a big family. You're working with family is the way I can describe it. If something happens, everybody works together.
The people that I work with are a wonderful group. They're proficient, they're respectful, and they love what they do.
Out here is where we inspect our helmets when our crew comes in. They drop their helmets off here.
Staff Sergeant Millie Miller is an important part of the team, helping make sure everything the air crews take on their missions is in tip-top shape before and after each flight.
Another part of our job is to issue weapons.
Staff Sergeant Miller isn't the only Miller on the base. Her son Jerome works a few hundred yards further down the flight line in the maintenance hangar, keeping the planes themselves in working order. But sometimes that short distance can seem like miles.
We've been here a few weeks and I think I've seen him a total of 3 times. It's kind of nerve-wracking in a way because you never know when something's going to happen, and the first thing that comes to my mind is he okay? But in a way it's kind of nice because I get to see him and I don't feel as lonely. I don't miss home as much.
Airman First Class Miller's colleagues took quick notice of the family connection.
Well, a lot of them gave me some lips. Oh, you brought your mom to war, you brought your mommy to war, and somebody made a comment yesterday that we need to clean up after ourselves because we didn't bring our mommies to war, and somebody pointed out, oh yes, Jerome did, and so I get messed with quite a bit.
There are benefits to the family connection, such as having support close at hand.
She's there to help me out, she's got my back always, and the same with her. If she's going through something, I'm right there for her.
Even though there's no question who's the boss.
I'm his mother, I always outrank him.
After this break, an emotional homecoming in Savannah as the Georgia Guard heroes are reunited with their loved ones.
Look, there's Daddy!
And later in the show, even after they're home, the mission continues. We'll be right back after this with more of A Call to Arms. On a steamy September day, on the same tarmac where they saw their airmen off so many weeks before, dozens of Georgia Air Guard family members gathered to welcome them back home. Time and distance have taken their toll on loved ones, young and old.
Stella knows that Daddy's away on the airplane working, and Sasha, when you ask her where Daddy is, he's at work. So, and they both know that we were coming to pick up Daddy today.
Well, we were used to talking every day, and we take for granted being able to pick up the phone and just call or text when you think of a funny thought during the day, and that's been different. Just riding down the road, not being able to pick up the phone and call him and tell him something funny.
Try not to listen to the news so much. Try not to read the paper because you hear all the bad stuff. Just knowing that your son is over there, it's not a good feeling. Even though you're proud of what he's doing and you look forward to him coming home, like all parents do.
As the big C-130s finally lumbered into view, the excitement was almost too much for some to take.
That is Brian! That is different! You see Daddy? Look! There's Daddy! There's Daddy! There's Daddy!
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Hey, Stella. It's great. I'm glad to be home. It wasn't too long of a deployment, so this is the longest I've been away from my youngest, so it's a little difficult in that respect, but it's great to be home.
My mom's standing there held back by the military police, running up trying to say hello to me.
I'm sorry, back up just a little bit. Come on back past this line. Back.
I'm fixing to jump in that plane. He keeps telling me to back up.
It's great. It's great. It's great to see a bunch of people not in uniform finally.
I don't think words can describe it. I'm so excited that he's home.
Sounds like we got a little date night at the mansion at Forsyth?
The mansion at Forsyth by ourselves, kidless.
Parents are in town to watch the kids, so it's great. I love my job. I love the fact that I can go away and serve my country, but to come home and see my family here and all my closest friends.
Brian Zwicker is home in time to be there when his wife Rachel delivers their fourth son.
I feel just an extreme weight has dropped off my shoulders because I have been in charge 24/7 for the past 6 weeks, and it's just nice to have him here, just to fall back on him and to know he's safe and I don't have to worry, and it just feels great.
I guess it just makes what we've been doing the past month and a half all worth it. Hopefully the boys will definitely benefit from what we're doing over in Afghanistan. Hopefully they won't have to be doing what we're doing. So it definitely encourages me when I come home and I can see them and everybody's home safe, and it's definitely a happy time.
The Zwicker boys aren't the only youngsters who will benefit from what our Georgia Air Guardsmen are doing at home and abroad. Coming up after this, we'll take you to one area school where local children are learning what it takes to be real successes in whatever they choose in life.
If you don't do the best with all you do, you can't achieve anything.
A Call to Arms continues right after this. Welcome back to A Call to Arms. Kids need a lot of mental and emotional weapons in their arsenal to make it in today's world. And thanks to the mentors from the 165th Maintenance Group, the students of Effingham County's Sandhill Elementary are getting more help than most.
This is a great program for the kids because it just gives them an extra male role model. A lot of our kids today don't have a good role model to look at, especially for men. It's not about military at all. It's about just, teaching our children how important it is to be the best that they can be and to help others.
For the past several years, airmen from the unit have made regular visits to the school's classes, teaching the youngsters the secrets of true success in life.
Integrity first, it all centers around our core values, integrity first, and if we can instill self and excellence in integrity, and if we can instill, if we can talk about integrity, serving others before we take care of ourselves, and serving others before we take care of ourselves, inspire them to do excellent in everything they try to accomplish, we're going to have successful students, and we're going to have successful students, and we're going to have future leaders.
The lessons stick with the students.
Integrity. If you don't do integrity, a lot of bad things can happen. In service before self, you need to get your responsibilities done before you can do anything fun for yourself. And if you do get your responsibilities done, you're able to help other people. And excellence in all you do. If you don't do the best with all you do, you can't achieve anything.
But the mentors say they get as much out of the program as the children do.
The kids, I mean, just their smiles, they're always so happy to see us. When we come in, they're like, Miss Natasha. So they just make you feel warm inside, and they're just so genuine, and they're eager to learn. They just soak up everything that you give them, but you can't help but be happy when you come here.
Well, I hope they're doing good in life, and I hope they're a productive person in society, and they look at you and say, you know, thank you for being there when they needed you. You never really know if you're making a positive influence until later on, you know. So I hope that they don't only meet me, they meet other members of the 165th later on down the line and see that this has all been a positive program, and they're very productive and have a functioning role in life.
Well, you never know, maybe one of those young people will grow up and become a member of the Georgia Air Guard. Thanks for joining us for this episode of A Call to Arms. We'll leave you now with a last look at some greetings that the airmen recorded for their families during their time in Afghanistan. We'll see you next month on A Call to Arms.
My name is Delton Johnson from Pooler, Georgia. I like to say hello to my kids, Delton, Delvon, Delvina, Andre, and Nicole. Be home 2 weeks. See you when I get there.
Hey, I'm Colonel Jesse Simmons from Bagram, Afghanistan, and I'd like to tell Mitzi and Stephanie I love them, and I'll be coming home soon.
This is the 165th Airlift Wing, Bagram, Afghanistan. We'd like to give a shout out to
Stanfield Elementary.